We don't care where you were drafted. You outperform somebody, you're going to be on that football field. Now, again, there are extenuating circumstances where you draft a quarterback number 3 overall. Yeah, they're going to try him out for the next 3 to 4 years, even if he's not as good as anybody on that roster. But from Shador's perspective, that's probably the case. Tyler Huntley, Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of names on that list, not a lot of good names on that list, so he can earn a job on this football team.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Every time he's there, he just finds a way, and he's going to break through. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys, too. Remember Cameron Young? Second in the Open Championship, fourth, plays great in majors, almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat, wrestling style. He didn't just win, he murdered the competition last week.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
He comes back, and what we're talking about, mid-August at that point, and then he gets a couple more starts and they're ready for the postseason. So right now, I would say probably not an issue long-term. You know, obviously change the lines of what we're going to see today. I haven't seen the lines reopen, at least on the FanDuel Sportsbook. They're locked right now, so not an issue right now. As long as he comes back and he still has that plant leg and he's still strong with that, probably no worries for the Brewers right now.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
It's a Monday here on the Early Line on the SportsGrid Network, and we were getting the people ready for this week, but also taking a look back at what happened this past weekend, because a lot of stuff happened here. Take the knowledge, Joe, from the weekend and play it forward to this week and put more money in your pocket. It was a fun weekend in Major League Baseball, a nice card setting up here on a Monday. And by the way, too, if you guys were paying attention on Friday's show, we like to go buys, which will happen at the end of this hour to give out best bets show. Friday's payday, we like to say. How about 2-0 on our buys this past Friday? How about that?
Yeah, went back to the well again, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We went with the Milwaukee Brewers, and, well, we know they haven't lost in about a month.
Exactly.
But your prop was pretty impressive, though. A couple of guys looking for a hit on the Athletics, and voila, we end up sweeping the board on Friday.
Every which way possible is how we like to get it done. But at this time in the show, we like to reach out to the people, Joe Ranieri, and tell them, or should say ask them, their opinions on some certain things that we need to know. So here is our public poll here. Fade it. Joe Ranieri, Donnie Wrights out here. And you know the easiest way to get a hold of this poll. Go on our X account here at SportsGrid. The question that was asked today, very simple, very straightforward. Who is the best bet to win the American League pennant? We have you 4 options here, 3 with teams and 1 you could fill in the blanks with, as we like to say. Team number 1, the Detroit Tigers at a plus 390 price. Team number 2, the Seattle Mariners at a plus 410 price. Team number 3, the Toronto Blue Jays at a plus 430 price. So essentially teams at the top of the standings in the American League. The other is a reply, which we're getting a lot of Houston Astros action. But how it breaks down right now, for me, Joe, I voted for the Mariners. They currently sit in first place with the people as well at 33.3%. Second place, slightly ahead of the Mariners, or slightly ahead of the other replies, is the Blue Jays at about 26%. Other replies at 24%, and then the Tigers, who nobody respects, at 16.7%. The disrespecting of the Tigers right now, even though they have the best price to win the pennant here. How about that?
Which is crazy because they may not get past the Guardians in that division to win it. So I am fading the public here, Donnie, because I think the winner of the American League is coming out of that other category here. It is far too close in across the board here. Even the teams battling for the 3 wild card spots with 7 weeks to go, there is a lot of firepower in that other category that can put it together and make a run, including the Rangers, including the Guardians, including the Yankees, including the Reds. I mean, you just go right down that list. I don't trust either of those top four teams to maintain over the next 7 weeks that they're going to be one of the favorites to win it in the American League. I think the other category's got a better shot.
Yeah, how about this, too? If we look at the American League teams, right, that are leading the divisions, and we're going to go like in order, like the Blue Jays, the Tigers, and the Astros. If you had to just pick one of those three teams that you figure can advance the farthest here and maybe win an American League pennant, of those division leaders, who would be on your card today?
Yeah, well, the Blue Jays have certainly been impressive here, and I don't love the starting rotation, but I love the bullpen, and the bats are there. But if it ain't broke, Donnie, don't fix it. How many times do we really want to be sitting here in 2 months and be like, how did we see the Astros? Like, how did we not bet the Astros to once again do it and drive everyone crazy? So today, I would still go with the Astros. Experience matters.
How about if we take a look at the wild card race? Because in the National League, again, just thinking a week ago, it was a closed case scenario. Yeah, either the Mets or the Phillies, and, they'll get in here. Now the Mets struggling and giving an eye-opening response here to the Reds. And it's like, but the Reds, can the Reds even jump anybody at this point? We'll find out. But we got some teams here in the American League that are going to make a run. First place right now, if the season ended in the wild card run, would be the Seattle Mariners. 66 wins, a 3.5-game lead here, cushion. Number 2 is the Boston Red Sox, 65 wins and a 2.5-game cushion. Then the New York Yankees. Okay, if the season ends today, all is well. New York's in the playoffs. But look just behind them. The Cleveland Guardians, like that zombie squad that didn't get any help at the deadline and traded away pieces, now playing some really good baseball, winners of 8 of their past 10 games. They're only a half game back from the Yankees. The Texas Rangers, who were right in it, they just tussled with the Philadelphia Phillies and just couldn't get enough base hits there. They get swept, but they're only 2.5 games back. The Kansas City Royals lost a devastating game, which I'm still angry about yesterday. They're 4 games back. If we just look at that final wild card spot with the Yankees, the Guardians, I just don't know if they have enough, but the Rangers would be my spotlight team right now outside of currently being in the wild card race.
Well, and, listen, the Rangers, they've lost 4 in a row, but they're playing some quality competition here. I think the Rangers set up to, when they're playing 500 or less than 500 teams, advantage Rangers for sure. But can they compete with the upper echelon here, teams that are better than that? I think that remains to be seen. But the Yankees, listen, it's not a shortage of talent. The Yankees they just have to put it together. And right now, Donnie, are we getting the Yankees at the bottom of the price point here? Should we be buying low on the Yankees to make a run at this? Is that at 6-1? Did we ever think we'd get them at 6-1 as a possible wild card team to win it all?
It's pretty crazy, right? No, like you trying to extrapolate what you were getting at the beginning of the season to what you're getting now. And also, hey, Aaron Judge, you want to wake up and start hitting some home runs here, try to help out that lineup? It could happen. And the one thing we do know is this is a game of streaks. Like, why are the Mariners only a half game out of first place and in the lead now in the wild card race? Well, winners of 7 straight games, 9 of their last 10 games. The Boston Red Sox, yes, they've lost 2 in a row, but they still won 7 out of their past 10. The New York Yankees, winners of 3 games over their past 10. That's not going to work out. And then the Guardians, who did lose yesterday, but winners of 8 of their past 10 games. Ebbs and flows of Major League Baseball. Buying low is the key. Like, nobody wanted to buy, let's just say Shohei Ohtani today to minus 20,000 price to win MVP. Same way as nobody wanted to buy minus 20,000 when Aaron Judge was that high. But just a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, Aaron Judge was sitting there, Joe, what? A plus money number against Cal Raleigh. That's buying low at that point, and now he's back to being the favorite. So I agree with you. Like both New York teams, right? If we could look at the National League and the American League, you say if you were buying in on the Yankees and the Mets right now, you're getting much better price points than you would have just a few short weeks ago.
And nobody has an easier remaining schedule than the New York Yankees here. I mean, we're talking Twins, Cardinals, Nationals, White Sox. The series, August 21st through the 24th at home against the Red Sox, Donnie, could be what determines between those two teams what happens from there. So the schedule lines up great for the Yankees, but they're going to have to get through the Red Sox in a 4-game series there in the middle of August.
We'll find out. We're in those dog days right now into the teens. People shift that focus over to the NFL, but you better be paying attention to the American League standings here, and particularly who's going to win the pennant, because it is up in the air. The Tigers right now, the darlings of Major League Baseball until the past 2 weeks, where it feels like their league goes from 12 games down to 6 games. There's still a plus 390 price here to win the pennant in the American League. The Seattle Mariners, a plus 420 price, along with the Blue Jays tied at a plus 420 price. Astros plus 450, Yankees 6-1, Red Sox 7-1. The Astros are one of those teams that you just can't kill. They're supposed to be dead last year. They came back from the dead. They're supposed to be dead this year. They came back from the dead. They have so many injuries on that baseball team, and yet they are still in first place just ahead of the Seattle Mariners. What do we take a look at that Astros lineup here at a plus 450 price? Do they have enough staying power to get back in business here and maybe win the American League?
Yeah, again, it's so hard to bet against them, Donnie, because nobody thought they'd be at this particular spot, yet here we are. Plus, they went out and upgraded, so they got a little more pop. Yordan Alvarez, by the way, is swinging now. He's got rehab, a stint coming up. They're about to become healthy at the right time, so very hard to look against the Houston Astros.
Good starting pitching as well. Like Javier back into that lineup now as a starting pitcher. I like what I see here. I just need to see that complete package. Like, can we get the boys back in business by early September to get that true look at what the Astros can be? Because one thing I do know is when they get to the playoffs, they certainly win baseball games. They're not the darlings of Major League Baseball for other reasons, like asterisks there on winning World Series and banging trash cans. But the one thing you can't deny is once they get to the postseason, cheating or not, they're in it to win it, no doubt about it. Let's get back on track and handicaps to Major League Baseball coming up next.
Vegas knows how to celebrate. If you're headed to Vegas for your birthday, plan ahead to get all the birthday freebies the city has to offer. Just by showing your ID, you could get free cash play, scratch cards, drinks, and food at various venues on the Strip. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
We don't care where you were drafted. You outperform somebody, you're going to be on that football field. Now, again, there are extenuating circumstances where you draft a quarterback number 3 overall. Yeah, they're going to try him out for the next 3 to 4 years, even if he's not as good as anybody on that roster. But from Shador's perspective, that's probably the case. Tyler Huntley, Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of names on that list, not a lot of good names on that list, so he can earn a job on this football team.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Joey Ohtani's only seen him 7 times, 7 at-bats. He's got a home run against him. I've been pretty good at jumping in and out with Ohtani. I don't take him to hit a home run every day. The odds are good enough tonight, Scott, at plus 230 to entice me. I've got a bet on Ohtani's season home run prop at 43.5, which, he's nearly there.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Jalen Lane, 4th-round receiver from Virginia Tech, who's a dynamic slot receiver. Run after the catch. He's had a phenomenal camp. Really great offseason. He is really gifted. And obviously with McLaurin not practicing, he's getting a lot more of a look. Right. Now, the problem is, without McLaurin, they're not very deep at the outside receiver position. But Jalen Lane is a stud talent. I'm telling you, this kid should have gone higher.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Come on down, people. Let's watch a little Major League Baseball action and handicap it along the way. Here you got games that start today. No afternoon action, Joe. First game's going to start at 6:10. You got a nice little nightcapper out there in Sacramento at 10:05. So a nice night of baseball, which I don't think we have any NFL preseason action. So we'll focus on the majors here. And by the way, focal point, big series in Houston today. Boston and Houston opens it up. Garrett Crochet, the lefty, is going to be on the mound for the Boston Red Sox. Christian Javier back to the mound here for the Houston Astros, adding in some intrigue and fortifying that really good starting pitching staff. 963, 964 on the rotation. An 8-10 start tonight. Look at that side. Boston on the road as a minus 175 favorite, a total that's listed at 7.5. Houston at home getting that much. Why is that, Joe? Best pitcher rated on my card today, Garrett Crochet. 277 ERA over the past 45 days and a 2.42 xFIP number. But should that number be that high for Boston on the road?
Yeah, that's the problem is, I mean, yes, it's great to have Christian Javier back if I am the Astros. But the problem is he's making his season debut. He hasn't pitched in 14 months. He's coming off of Tommy John surgery. Okay, not sure exactly how much we're going to get of him, which means we're going to need that bullpen of Houston to get involved here. But the good news is because the Yankees are horrific, they didn't have to use any of those high leverage guys. So I think Hader only pitched in one game there in that series against the Yankees. So they're going to be in pretty good shape there. I think anytime you can give me in what I think is going to be a low scoring game, you want to give me a run and a half, Donnie? You want me to give me the home team here in Houston and spot them a run and a half? I'll do it. I'll take it all day long. I think Houston is very competitive in this game.
Yeah, Crochet's got really, really good numbers here, but also Houston, who doesn't really hit left-handed pitching all that well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yesterday was a lefty on the mound in New York by the name of Max Fried. They did well against him. Crochet, better pitcher right now, obviously, than Max Fried, but lefties back-to-back days. We'll see if Houston can certainly come up with some base knocks. The one thing we never doubt on a day-to-day basis anymore with the Boston Red Sox, Joe, is how good their lineup actually is. Just projecting against right-handed pitching, I have 8 of 9 batters with positive ISO power numbers, and it looks like 6 of 9 batters with positive weighted on-base percentages here. So if that lineup comes to town, starts hitting and going away, that's going to be a tough number. But the Houston Astros, they're built for this. They're at home. They're getting a big price now. Not going to shy away from competition, certainly tonight, even if it is Garrett Crochet, who looks like a very good pitcher right now. Let's keep it moving and take on the New York Yankees, staying in the Bronx. Just dropped the series to those Astros we just talked about. Minnesota's headed to town. Not a very good team, but picked up a victory yesterday against the Kansas City Royals. Zebby Matthews on the mound going up against Will Warren. 959, 960 on the rotation, a 7:05 start. Heavy favorite for the Yankees. Overnight, Joe, minus 150s. Where does it stand now? Minus 172s, minus 184s, minus 185s in the marketplace, and a total that's listed at 9 at most outlets here. Runs possibly expected, but when is that Yankees lineup just going to break through and pound out some runs? 3 hits yesterday, Joe. Unacceptable.
No, not. I mean, a no-hit through 5 innings. If it wasn't for Ben Rice getting a single in the 6th, my goodness here. So, yeah, I do like the Yankees in this spot. I'm not running to the window to lay this number by any stretch of the imagination, but Will Warren has shown that, yes, he can be a pretty good starting pitcher here, especially at home against a weak Minnesota lineup that has a lot of young guys that are all fired up here. But the reality is, I think the Yankees get this thing turned around, and I think they do it against sub-500 teams, and it starts with Minnesota at 56-61, no back end of the bullpen. I'll back the Yankees in this spot to get it done.
And by the way, watching a lot of Minnesota baseball, like over the weekend here, because I like to bet baseball, obviously, and Kansas City should have had more runs yesterday. Like Kansas City lost yesterday, Joe. They had 15 runners left on base and 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Yesterday, Urania was on the mound. He's a bad starting pitcher, and their bullpen is bad. Like, I was talking to Tom Vecchio yesterday on Pro Baseball Today, right? Like, Colon was a very good reliever for them. He pitches for Texas Rangers now. Maybe the best closer in baseball, Johan Duran. He's in Philadelphia now at this point. They have nothing. So now they're using pitchers. Once you can get them out in the 5th inning, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, just tomato cans across the board. So when you look at a Yankees lineup today and you see that price point, it's like, ooh, I struggle here. You shouldn't struggle. Now, the one thing you like about Zebby Matthews is analytics love him. He's a strikeout pitcher and doesn't walk a lot of guys. In his last 45 days, his xFIP numbers are 299. That's really good. Only 19 and a third innings pitched because he's a young guy without a lot of starts here. But his ERA, Joe, is a 5.12. He falls off in the Bronx. You should be able to hit him. But also understand this again. The handicap is not go toe-to-toe with Zebby Matthews. Knock him out in the 5th inning, which means you get 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th if needed against a horrendous bullpen that you should tattoo with a lot of those big bats, Joe. That's probably the angle I look at. You see the totals in this game, the sides in this game. I'm looking more at the Yankees themselves. Maybe they don't hit all that much in the first 3 to 4 innings, but sooner than later, you got to catch up to Zebby Matthews and that terrible bullpen.
Yeah, and he is. We saw the Red Sox light him up a couple of starts ago, right, for a 13-1 win there. And yes, and sometimes he loses the strike zone a little bit, but you're not going to be blowing the ball by these Yankees hitters. I do like the Yankees' chances of getting this done, and I like Will Warren much better in this spot at home. He's the last guy to actually go 6 innings for the Yankees starters.
By the way, what's up with the Yankees bats anyway, too? Like Aaron Judge comes back, you're supposed to dominate. If we go back to the second game of the Marlins series, shut out. Third game of the Marlins series, 3 runs. You exploded a little bit against the Rangers. That was an 8-5 loss. You scored 5 runs. Then you back it up against the Rangers and don't even score. You take on the Rangers to end that series, 3-2, which means you scored 3 runs. You lose to the Astros, 3 runs you score. You beat the Astros late. You have that home run there that gives you the 5 runs. And then you drop another egg yesterday with 1 total run. We shouldn't be looking at this Yankees lineup 1 through 9 while they're healthy now and really starting to struggle and say, how can they not get hits? I'm going to take a look at their team total today. I'm not saying I would play it, Joe, but it's almost like you feel like that demarcation line of, you don't hit today, I got a lot of worries and concerns moving forward, to be honest.
Listen, Aaron Judge, 7 for 43 in his last 13 games. That's a 163 average. That is not good. So, but good news is, if you can get him going, everything else, hitting is contagious, especially when Aaron Judge leads the way. But you got to get Aaron Judge rolling.
You do got to get him rolling. 337 on the season, which is still a wonderful number. And by the way, he's in a holding pattern here at most sports books with the MVP. They're just waiting for him to like hit 1 or 2 home runs to put that price point back to like a minus 1,000. But they can't do it because he's not hitting right now. Let's go to the Philadelphia Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds. Taijuan Walker's on the mound today, people. How about that? We don't care where you were drafted. You outperform somebody, you're going to be on that football field. Now, again, there are extenuating circumstances where you draft a quarterback number 3 overall. Yeah, they're going to try him out for the next 3 to 4 years, even if he's not as good as anybody on that roster. But from Shador's perspective, that's probably the case. Tyler Huntley, Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of names on that list, not a lot of good names on that list, so he can earn a job on this football team.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Every time he's there, he just finds a way, and he's going to break through. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys, too. Remember Cameron Young? 2nd in the Open Championship, 4th, like plays great in majors, almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat, wrestling style. He didn't just win, he murdered the competition last week.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
He comes back, and what we're talking about, mid-August at that point, and then he gets a couple more starts and they're ready for postseason. So right now, I would say probably not an issue long-term. You know, obviously change the lines of what we're going to see today. I haven't seen the lines reopen, at least on the FanDuel Sportsbook. They're locked right now. So not an issue right now. As long as he comes back and he still has that plant leg and he's still strong with that, probably no worries for the Brewers right now.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Back out of here on the early line. It's a Monday morning and a nice slate of games here on a Monday. Don't you remember the times, Joe Ranieri, where we would check in on a Monday? Like, you're giving us 3 games, like one's in the afternoon, one's at 10 o'clock at night, one's at 8 o'clock. Like, at least Major League Baseball made the smart decision a few years back to say, hey, guys, how about a good schedule all throughout the week where you can watch a lot of games as opposed to cramming them in? So I do appreciate it. And that takes us, Joe, to Cincinnati, where the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Cincinnati Reds, who the Reds now looking to fight and get in that wild card spot as long as the Metropolitans keep losing. But now you got to face the Philadelphia Phillies, who are playing their best baseball maybe of the season right now. I think they're 19 games above 500 for the first time in the Major League Baseball season. A 6-10 start tonight, 9:51, 9:52 on the rotation. Taijuan Walker for the Philadelphia Phillies on the mound going up against Andrew Abbott, the lefty. How about this? The Reds are a favorite today against the Philadelphia Phillies and a total listed at 9.5. Taijuan Walker had a really good start his last time out. Abbott's a lefty, which can give the Phillies fits at times here. But are you surprised that the Reds are the favorites here over the Philadelphia Phillies?
Not necessarily, because Abbott has been that kind of pitcher here, and he's looking to bounce back after which wasn't a great last start here. But he has actually, I don't think he has any record against the Phillies. He's only pitched 13 innings against them over the previous starts that he's had against them. So there's not a lot to go on here except for the fact that the Reds now are home. And when you look at the Reds haven't played a home game since August 1st, Donnie, which is kind of crazy. They've had to go to Tennessee. They had a game. They were supposed to have a day off, but they had to play because of the rain out at Bristol.
Yep.
They have been all over the place. 8 games, 3 cities, 9 days. And they went 4-4, which given is pretty impressive here. So I definitely give them the edge early in this one. The Bats obviously were there yesterday. They hadn't been there against Pittsburgh prior, but they never play well in Pittsburgh. If they are serious about catching the Mets, and now it should be very serious given the fact that they just watched Milwaukee beat them again in epic fashion and they gained another game. And then when your ace is on the mound, you got to win this game. So I agree with them being the favorite. And I'd also agree where I'm looking to back them early with Abbott against Walker here in the first 5.
You know what's interesting about it, too? Because Taijuan Walker, like the odd man out of the rotation, paid him good money, but he actually has been serviceable, Joe. His last 3 starts at the Yankees, 5 2/3, 3 earned runs. Then he went to the Chicago White Sox, 5 innings and 2 earned runs. His last start against Baltimore at home was 6 innings pitched and no earned runs. Now, let me ask you this question, too, because that 9.5 is high. It's a hitter's ballpark. We understand that. When the Phillies get going, they can hit. Same thing with the Cincinnati Reds. They just haven't really gotten going. 10 runs to beat here, but do you have a different challenge? Because sometimes in the past, the Phillies like that perfect storm where, they can bring the bats, but they can't even shut it down in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning because their bullpen is average at best. Now you throw a couple more key components back there, including a great closer. Does that change your outcome? Like handicappers that would look at the Phillies and say, Taijuan Walker and Andrew Abbott, I'm probably just going to go first 5 innings total in that game. Because if you end up at 2-1 after 5 innings, you're not getting 10 runs tonight. You know what I mean?
Well, both bullpens have, got some work over the weekend, especially yesterday. Cincinnati's bullpen got a ton of work in that spot there. And again, we mentioned 8 games, 9 days, 3 different cities. It's been a haul here for this Reds team, and it wouldn't shock me if some guys starting to wear down here a little bit. But there's no doubt, Donnie, that your hope is fewer runs early, keep it close, because I think when both bullpens get involved, good luck trying to figure out who to go with at that point.
Hey, by the way, next game we're going to talk about, too, is keep it in the National League. San Diego and San Francisco here. 2 teams still vying for those wild card spots right now. San Francisco can catch some life and knock down a team ahead of them. That'll certainly help out. Yu Darvish going up against Logan Webb, 9:57, 9:58 on the rotation, 9:45 tonight. Favorite here for San Francisco at a -136 price live and a total that's listed between 7 and 7.5. Here's my question. Usually I look at Logan Webb and say, I'm not going up against that guy, Joe. But analytics still loves him. But his last 45 days and 40 innings pitched, Joe, a 5.18 ERA. What's up with Logan Webb?
Yeah, he's slowing down here a little bit. And he used to be an automatic at home.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
Correct.
This was a guy that was like, no, I'm not going to go against him. But even at home, he has now struggled a little bit here when it's all said and done. Division rivals, they know him. He knows them. Feels like an under game to me, Donnie, any which way I cut it. Not expecting a ton of runs in this one.
Yeah, too, like Yu Darvish. And again, this is such a big game in that division because if you're trying to track down the Los Angeles Dodgers, if you're San Diego, got to win this game. But just coming back from the dead, like San Francisco has talent. They have decent starting pitching, a decent bullpen, a nice-looking lineup that just isn't hitting right now. If they can get some of those things worked out, maybe they can get a wild card spot. More Major League Baseball handicapping on deck on the early line. We don't care where you were drafted. You outperform somebody, you're going to be on that football field. Now, again, there are extenuating circumstances where you draft a quarterback number 3 overall. Yeah, they're going to try him out for the next 3 to 4 years, even if he's not as good as anybody on that roster. But from Shador's perspective, that's probably the case. Tyler Huntley, Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of names on that list, not a lot of good names on that list, so he can earn a job on this football team.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Every time he's there, he just finds a way, and he's going to break through. Look at Cameron Young. Cameron Young was one of those guys, too. Remember Cameron Young? Second in the Open Championship, fourth, like plays great in majors, almost won the Canadian Open again. I seen this guy play live. I'm like, how does this guy not have a win? And then last week, Kev, you saw what he did. He put his foot on your throat, wrestling style. He didn't just win; he murdered the competition last week.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
He comes back, and what we're talking about, mid-August at that point, and then he gets a couple more starts and they're ready for the postseason. So right now, I would say probably not an issue long-term. You know, obviously change the lines of what we're going to see today. I haven't seen the lines reopen, at least on the FanDuel Sportsbook. They're locked right now. So not an issue right now. As long as he comes back and he still has that plant leg and he's still strong with that, probably no worries for the Brewers right now.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
You watch the Early Line a lot of times because you love yourself some Major League Baseball. You want those handicaps. You want to stew on that information throughout the day. And by the way, it's Donnie right side. It's Joe O'Neill right here on the Early Line, as we do every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the SportsGrid Network. Do you remember this comment, Joe? This week in baseball. Did you ever watch that show? Little twib notes out there in the streets?
Yes, remember it well. And we've got a few of those notes ourselves here, I think, today.
Yes, we do. By the way, we date ourselves a lot of times. Like, you have ESPN Sports Center kids out here. Lucky you. You have viral things you can watch. Like, we used to watch, like, This Week in Baseball. Like, oh, man, did you see that home run? Because we didn't see any home runs. We got, like, one game, local broadcast, eat it, and be back in it. So times back in the 80s, certainly changing from times now, as you see in 2025. But I'll tell you what's not changing right now. The Milwaukee Brewers. They just continue to win. They're going to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates today. It's Heaney versus Quintana, the battle of the lefties here. 953, 954 on the rotation. A minus 200 favorite at most books or higher for the Milwaukee Brewers. So my question to you, Joe, not so much a handicap. Do you just keep riding this streak out no matter what the score is in the game or the price point before the game starts? It's a Brewers world. We're all just living in it right now.
Well, you know, again, we got a situation where the bullpen collapsed for Pittsburgh in that game against the Reds yesterday. Not great, but Pittsburgh is playing some really good baseball. I mean, let's be realistic here. Since the All-Star break, Donnie, they've been way more competitive flying under the radar. But, you know, are we really stepping in front of this Brewers train who can't do anything wrong? They handled the Mets, and now they got to take on a Pittsburgh team that is still awful, but they're playing better here. And I don't know that Quintana's the guy that we can expect to go out there and just shut the Pittsburgh Pirates down. So I'd be willing to take a shot. I'd be willing to take the 1.5 with Pittsburgh here, thinking if the bats can keep going, I think they can keep this one close and give Milwaukee a run for their money.
Yeah, two questionable pitchers to say the least. But the one thing is, we take a look at it on a day-to-day basis. Not so much the Milwaukee lineup anymore. They'll do their damage. Pittsburgh's lineup so hit or miss at times. That is a heavy favorite in an 8.5. But I should say Andrew Heaney, bad pitcher. 28 2/3 innings pitched over the past 45 days. Joe, 5.65 ERA, 5.40 xFIP. Sounds like he's getting unlucky. We're saying, boy, his ERA is high, but his xFIP is low. No, bad ERA matching up with a bad xFIP. He's deservedly bad, and that's why you're seeing a guy like Quintana, who's not even a great pitcher, at a minus 200 plus price point, depending on where you're shopping at this point right now. Let's get out to the West Coast, the Battle of Los Angeles. We all can't wait to watch this. Maybe we can. 9:38 p.m. tonight, 971, 972 on the rotation. Dodgers with Yamamoto, Angels with Soriano. Favorite here for the Dodgers, minus 175, minus 180s in the marketplace, and a total listed at 8.5 here. Dodgers taking on the Angels, crosstown rivalry. Any thoughts on this heavy favorite for the Dodgers?
Well, Angels have always, seemed to have given the Dodgers a little bit of a run for their money over the years here. But Yamamoto and Soriano, Soriano is the best pitcher on the Angels. He's better at home than he has been out on the road. And we know how good Yamamoto could be. I saw 8.5 as a total, Donnie, and I would almost be willing to say, you know what? We probably get fewer runs in this game than more runs. I'd probably be looking to back the under in this one.
Yeah, look at Soriano on the, his last 45 days here. 7th on the card today at 20 total pitchers, 5.32 ERA, but an xFIP number of 3.52. Like we just told you about Andrew Heaney. Bad ERA, bad xFIP lines up here. This doesn't line up. Looks like he's getting just a little bit unlucky over the past several weeks of pitching. And then you take a look at Yamamoto. 6 starts in the past 45 days, Joe. 32 and a third innings pitched, 2.33 ERA. 271 xFIP number. Not exactly a hitter's ballpark there either in LA. More of a pitcher's ballpark in Anaheim. We'll see how that one plays out tonight. Arizona, they can bring the bats at times here. Texas desperately needs a victory after getting swept by the Philadelphia Phillies. 969, 970 on the rotation, an 8:05 start. Favorite for Texas overnight, minus 168. So you'll see a graphic pop up at minus 172. Those numbers live here on the show are starting to backtrack, Joe. Minus 160s, minus 162s out there in the landscape right now. And a total that's listed at 7.5. Eovaldi comes into this one, 41 and 2/3 innings pitched over his past 45 days, which included 7 starts, 1.08 ERA. He's got to be their stopper today, Joe.
Yeah, he needs to be. And I think you can get him at a pretty good price, especially if you're willing to lay just one run with the home team and the Rangers here at a pretty decent price because, listen, both pitchers have been pretty good. Rin Nelson has also been really good here for Arizona over the last month and a half. He's had some trouble on the road compared to at home. But let's not forget, this is a Rangers ballpark and a Rangers team that has been absolute money to the under. I just think the Rangers bats will have a better time getting against Nelson than Arizona will against Eovaldi. So I'd be willing to lay just the one run at a pretty decent price here. And listen, if they win by 1, it's a push, Donnie. And if they end up blowing them out, they blow them out.
Yeah, if you can navigate Carroll, Marte, and Perdomo at the top of that lineup for Eovaldi, it's pretty much smooth sailing the rest of the way through. But Nathan Eovaldi's last 100 batters, Joe, that he's faced, how about an 0.54 ISO? Spectacular. Weighted on base percentage, 202. Spectacular. Hard hit contact is a little bit high, which you'll see that in Major League Baseball, but he's not necessarily a fly ball pitcher. So when you're not giving up fly balls and your strikeout rate is 25%, you're used to keeping that ball in the yard here. Not a lot of extra base hits. It's worked out in spades for Eovaldi, as we just told you, his last 45 days in Major League Baseball. Come on, man, a 1 ERA. Let's see if that ace can hold up tonight because they just got swept by the Phillies. They desperately need a win tonight to stay in that race out in the West and also, more importantly, maybe that wild card race. Let's go over to the Detroit Tigers. Had a nice little appearance yesterday at the plate as they were hammering away. They're going to take on the Chicago White Sox today. Paddock going against Peguero. 961, 962 on the rotation. A 7:40 start tonight, Joe. 8.5s out here as the total. A favorite for Detroit, which opened up around that 135 price. We're now seeing on the graphic at 138. Live numbers across the board. 142, 148, 152. Money starting to come on the Detroit Tigers today on a Monday.
Yeah, and listen, it makes sense, but you know what makes more sense is taking the over 8.5 here because I don't trust Paddock as far as I can throw him. It's not like the White Sox haven't shown their ability to be able to, especially at home, score some runs. And I think they'll do just that here against Paddock. And you got an opener for the White Sox. It looks like this kid has been called up from AAA. So, yeah, there could be a lot of runs in this game. 8.5, I think, grab it because it's likely going to go to 9 before first pitch.
Yeah, let me see what we got here because I just saw that with you here. So it's coming in, what's it, Alexander coming in behind him at this point? Let's see here. Alexander. Let's see if we have any numbers here. Tyler, yeah. I mean, the guy's been around for a while. Not really a great pitcher. His game log, Joe, last appearance on August the 6th, which was his last time out there. Didn't get the start, but 4 1/3 innings pitched. No earned runs here. The start before that, or his appearance before that, you'll like this one, Joe. Doesn't record an out, pops into the game, faces 3 batters, gives up 3 runs there. How do you like that? That's a great play. Hey, kid, come in here and get this guy out. Can't do it. 3 runs. I'm out of the game already. You're right about it. Maybe there are runs, because also, keep in mind on this, the Chicago White Sox might not be a good baseball team, but I'm telling you, that lineup can provide fruitful appearances at the plate to give you 3, 4, maybe 5 runs, something to check in. Because usually it's like, hey, dead team in the water. Same thing with the Colorado Rockies. That team can put up runs. They'll give up a ton, but they'll put up runs. So maybe you're writing on to something here. The 8.5, don't like that game. It's the Chicago White Sox. White Sox hit today. You got some action.
Yeah, well, there's nothing redeeming about the bullpen of the White Sox either. So you got a starter, you got a less than mediocre pitcher. You're going to have to go to the bullpen, which is even worse. And Detroit has actually been pretty good on the road scoring runs. So I think for sure Paddock is going to give up his fair share here. I think we can get to double digits in this game as far as scoring goes.
Yeah, I mean, just getting that back here at this point right now, looking at it, because for my money, and again, looking at the Chicago White Sox, Joe, you look at the last appearance yesterday, they get a win, 6 runs. They only get 1 run against the Guardians on Saturday, but after that, Joe, 5 runs, 3 runs, 6 runs, 3 runs, 5 runs. So it's not as if they're dead in the water at the plate at this point. Can provide some fireworks here. Tom Vecchio's coming up next. What fireworks does Tom V got? Stay tuned to find out right here on the early line.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Let's get the latest update with the Micah Parsons holdout contract situation. Not a day goes by that Jerry Jones isn't afraid to talk about this. That's what we like about Jerry, okay? So here's the latest one. Apparently, Jerry Jones thought that he had a deal done with Micah Parsons. Not a pen, not a sheet of paper, not a DocuSign. A handshake and a look in the eye.
Newswire. Only on Sport.
I was that confused trying to figure out why Cameron Young isn't as good as he should be, because we've seen all the flashes. Like at some point of his career, he's been elite at something. Like he's been elite at putting this year. He's been an elite iron player. He's been an elite driver of the golf ball. So check out this chart I had to get.
We got a chart.
Look at this chart that I had to come up with.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Was already pretty solid up top, but you had the bottom that's that much better with Ryan O'Hearn and Lariano. Like, we now have a well-rounded lineup on top of a great pitching staff. Michael King is expected to start making his rehab starts. So you have him plus Pivetta plus Dylan Cease. You Darvish is back. You have the frontline pitching, the depth in the lineup, and now a great bullpen. You have it all.
I really like it. Like I do. Like sometimes I get caught up in the Padres because of what they can be.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Used to say Sunday Fun Day. No, sir. It's Monday Fun Day right here on the Sports Grid Network. It's the early line. It's the way we do things here. It's Donnie Wright said. It's Joe Ranieri. Now we're joined by Tom Vecchio. my counterpart on Pro Baseball Today. Watch us every single Sunday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. yesterday. Sweeping the card yesterday, Tom, on Underdog Plays. Sonny Gray got it done for me late night last night, plus 104. But how about Tom? Early in the day, a Yankees fan going like, yeah, I ain't taking the Yankees today. We're taking that plus 178 here, plus 176 on the Houston Astros. How about them dogs here, Tom? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, a minus 200 line on the Yankees was just unacceptable. I think it was just the line was just wrong. So 176 on that. Jack Kohanowicz to allow 7+ total hits at plus 180. Nailed on that. Vinny P from the Royals, Vinny Pasquantino coming through with a home run up at 420, whatever it was. So a nice day on Pro Baseball Today. We keep things rolling into today. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, let's go ready to go. And also, we need some insight what happened over the weekend, Tom, because we're taking notes right now, right? You don't get too much out of the preseason games other than never seen some of these rookies, want to pay attention to some rookie quarterbacks. And the biggest spotlight over the weekend certainly was Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns getting the start against the Carolina Panthers. They win that game 30-10. But Shedeur got a lot of looks in this one, Tom. 14 of 23, $138, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a passer rating of 106.8. His numbers now have dropped to be possibly the starter for the Cleveland Browns in week number 1. What did you take away from that Shedeur Sanders start against the Panthers?
More than just the 14 and 23. He was out there for, 45 or 46 plays, whatever it was overall.
Yeah.
High volume plays that they're willing to trust him with. And that float pass that he had on the near sideline where he kind of scrambled out of the pocket and then motioned to the receiver to get down and kind of led him, and the receiver made a nice catch, granted. Like, that is like a high-level, good quarterback play that you want to see. And, I would love to – I don't remember the Browns' schedule off the top of my head, but, if they have a bye week early in the season and they start off again like 1-4, get Joe Flacco out of there and just put him in there, start getting him reps, start developing him, and just start seeing what you have with him.
No, sooner rather than later, because let's face it, Tom, nobody wants to see Joe Flacco if they don't have to play football here. But it's interesting here because we saw a lot of other rookie quarterbacks show up and show out this week. I thought Jackson Dart against the starters against the Bills was actually pretty impressive here. But, I mean, who has the season of seasons here? Who's your offensive rookie of the year looking at what we have seen thus far?
It's easy just to say Genty, and everyone's going to be like, like 3 carries, minus -1 yards, whatever. It's like, obviously, it's a small sample size. He's only in there for a drive or 2, whatever it is. We have to take that with a grain of salt. We know what Pete Carroll wants to do and run the ball. Frankly, I would be looking outside of that top group. Emeka Egbuka on the Bucs had a great first game. He also has a lot of buzz coming into the season. So someone like him is set for a big role. Amari Hampton on the Chargers could just see a ton of volume because, again, we know what Harbaugh likes to do and run the ball. Also, with their wide receiver room being, I'm going to say, shaky at best. Like, we know that Mike Williams retired. They have to re-sign Keenan Allen. Quentin Johnston isn't great. Lad McConkey's awesome. But at a certain point, if the volume of yards will be there for Hampton, I really like him in a little bit of a longer shot. Emeka Egbuka, I think he's going to be in for a big role with Chris Godwin out to start the year. And, Mike Evans is super consistent, but if that offense is going to be moving, they have one of the easiest strength of schedules. Baker's going to pass for 40 plus touchdowns and 4,000 yards. I think he's in for a huge year.
Yeah, McMillan had a couple pretty good shines there going up with Bryce this weekend on the Carolina Panthers. So a fun market for the rookies if you're looking to bet that way. But Ashton Genty, I think we wanted to see 3 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown like he typically opened up at Boise State. But it's the NFL. You're not going to get that -1 yards. The kid will be just fine as he has the lead here at the plus 250 number before we even enter into week 1 of the NFL regular season. So some good talks there and good looks here in the NFL. But let's get back to the Major League Baseball card today, Tom. As I take a look, the Red Sox and the Astros is a big-time series that's going to take place. Could go a long way in winning divisions and also the wild card race. What do you have a look in this game with?
So this game's super interesting. Like you said, it is extremely important in terms of the AL playoff race overall. Christian Javier is making his first start for the Astros since May. So obviously we have to take this with a grain of salt. It's really about Garrett Crochet on the other side, who has been absolutely unbelievable. So I like this game under 7.5. It is a travel day or a travel from yesterday for both teams. Obviously the Red Sox coming from San Diego, Houston coming from New York. So I like under 7.5. I don't see this as a high scoring series overall. One of the games probably flies over just because that's what's going to happen, especially in a decent hitter's ballpark in Houston. But again, with Christian Javier, it's a bit of an unknown, but this game's really about Garrett Crochet being amazing. 30+% strikeout rate. This is what I expect from him to keep this game under. And frankly, I think the Sox win it 3-1, 4-2 kind of situation.
Yeah, Gordon was scratched yesterday, and they went with Seinfeld there, Jason Alexander. So it feels like
legit.
Get a couple innings out of Javier, and then Gordon will probably be the lone relief. But the bullpen should be good to go, and I'm with you on the under here. Probably not going to get an under with Tampa and the Athletics here today in Sacramento. But what are we thinking? Pepio against Springs here?
Yeah, so, Donnie, we know we love this ballpark. And, obviously with Joe, when we're doing IGLs, we're always talking about live overs on this spot. It's in Sacramento, not Oakland, as I was about to say, but it's in the upper 80s. We got wind blowing out. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Jeff Springs has been pretty solid, especially over his recent starts. If you look over the last 30 days, like he actually has a sub-4 xFIP, which is, pretty solid overall. But Ryan Pepio has been pretty terrible. And with the wind blowing out, I love this spot. His recent outings have not been good. So, we have hitters in these lineups, and that's what it ultimately comes down to. Brandon Lau, Caminero, you name it, on the Yandy Diaz on the side of the Rays, and obviously Nick Kurtz and Landry Lears, who's hitting all these home runs, Tyler Soderstrom, Lawrence Butler. With what we have in this game, I like the over, and the bullpens are absolutely terrible. So give me over 10, scorching hot out in Sacramento with the wind blowing out.
Does make some sense. And you always get that comforting approach. Like if you're trying to fade like the Minnesota Twins, they have no back end of the bullpen, so you love that. It used to be like, I need one more run against the A's, and then Mason Miller appears, like, just turn the TV off. I'm not even going to get a base runner. With those guys not being there, it just adds extra intrigue where it's like, all right, even if the game time was 4-3 in the ninth, like, yes, we can get a 4-4 game and push this into extras and see if we can pick up some victories here. Good Major League Baseball card tonight. Starts with the Philadelphia Phillies at 6:10 p.m. going up against the Reds, where, again, the Phillies are an underdog after a sweep of the Texas Rangers, something certainly to keep an eye on. But that's Tom Vecchio on a Monday morning, bright and early with the boys on the early line. Tom, thanks for your appearance today. And by the way, where can we catch you today quickly? Where can we catch you on the network?
Later today.
There you go. Tom Vecchio all over the place here at the SportsGrid Network. Love to see it. Thanks, Tom.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Let's get the latest update with the Micah Parsons holdout contract situation. Not a day goes by that Jerry Jones isn't afraid to talk about this. That's what we like about Jerry, okay? So here's the latest one. Apparently, Jerry Jones thought that he had a deal done with Micah Parsons. Not a pen, not a sheet of paper, not a DocuSign. A handshake and a look in the eye.
Newswire. Only on Sport.
I was that confused trying to figure out why Cameron Young isn't as good as he should be, because we've seen all the flashes. Like at some point of his career, he's been elite at something. Like he's been elite at putting this year. He's been an elite iron player. He's been an elite driver of the golf ball. So check out this chart I had to get.
We got a chart.
Look at this chart that I had to come up with.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
It was already pretty solid up top, but you had the bottom that's that much better with Ryan O'Hearn and Lariano. Like, we now have a well-rounded lineup on top of a great pitching staff. Michael King is expected to start making his rehab starts. So you have him plus Pivetta plus Dylan Cease. You Darvish is back. You have the frontline pitching, the depth in the lineup, and now a great bullpen. You have it all.
I really like it. Like I do. Like sometimes I get caught up in the Padres because of what they can be.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Topics, and more topics. That's what we like to bring to the people out here. And sometimes we take a look at sports leagues. I always like to be, Joe, as you know, the commissioner. I want to be the commissioner of all sports because I think I can make it better for the common man and the viewing public here. PGA Tour. I don't like what goes on in the month of August here. They play for a lot of money nobody cares about. Let me make it more intriguing here. You want a college football playoff expansion? You come to me. I'll lay out the plans here where everybody plays home games except for one championship, just like the Super Bowl played in Las Vegas. But that's not what we're talking about right now. The UFC has a really big following, Joe. And only way to expand that is to bring it to more people. It's what I've always complained about in boxing. Boxing used to be the showplace of America. Everybody wanted to watch fights. Mike Tyson in the 80s, into the 1990s, heck, even back to the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Boxing was a big sport. You know where boxing started to die out? Yes, the corruption, number one. But number two, put it behind a paywall of 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100. You're not paying for that here. But if it was on ABC in the middle of the afternoon on a Saturday or Saturday night, people would watch. How about this news for the UFC? Ariel Helwani tweets out, Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC in the United States, starting in 2026. They've acquired the rights for $7.7 billion over 7 years. The best news for fans, the pay-per-view model is dead. All events are part of a regular subscription, including numbered shows. Fantastic. I love this, Joe. I would like to watch more UFC. I'm never paying for it, but now I have Paramount Plus. I will watch more UFC. How about that?
It's kind of crazy when you think about it here, because we've never seen this before, certainly with the UFC, who, let's not forget, not only did you have to have a subscription to ESPN Plus, but then you had to pay, $70, $80, $90 for any of those premium UFC fights. So, by the way, that's going to continue through the end of the year. This won't kick in until 2026, but you're going to have 13 big events, and then you're going to have 30 fight nights, which is less than what they've been running lately or been running during the deal with ESPN. So it's a win-win. It's going to be very interesting to see how many people run to go get, subscriptions to Paramount Plus here.
But you know what's interesting? I'm so glad you brought that up with ESPN Plus, because I've always had ESPN Plus, like to go back and watch like the smaller, college basketball games, the smaller, NCAA football games on Saturdays. But you're right. I remember the first time when UFC was coming to that, and I was like, oh, I have ESPN Plus. This is great. And I remember going to try to watch a UFC fight, and they still were charging a pay-per-view rate. It was like, all right, $7.99 a month for ESPN Plus. Okay, if you buy the pay-per-view, we'll give you like $7 off. I was like, you have got to be kidding me, Joe. That was ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. But you know what? Friday night sweep on Buy Best Bets. How about some buy right now, people? Come on. Ain't no pay-per-view on these ones, Joe Ranieri. Where are you going tonight on that Major League Baseball card? Give the people a winner on a Monday.
I am telling you, I'm going to go with a dog here tonight to kick off the week, and I'm going to go with the Washington Nationals, who will be taking on the Kansas City Royals here. The Nats are throwing out a pretty darn impressive rookie in Cade Cavalli, who I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was really, really good. Missed a ton of bats in that opening effort of his. His fastball reaches close to triple digits here. I love it. And the fact that it going up against a Brady Falter here of Kansas City, and the Nats, believe it or not, have turned it around. I thought they were pretty impressive against the Giants on the weekend. They won 2 out of 3 in that spot there. Yeah, I think they got a pretty good opportunity, especially after the bullpen got annihilated for Kansas City. No Estevez, no Urseg, no Zerpa. They all had to work consecutive days over the weekend against the Twins. I think the Nats have some value as a underdog in this spot against Kansas City.
By the way, let Mackenzie Gore go again today. It was sensational yesterday. Just keep the good vibes going. Send him out there instead of even throwing Cavalli or bring him in for a couple innings here. For me, I'm going to go with a total to the over, Joe. Colorado and St. Louis. The one thing we know about Colorado, every game they play, and they might get killed. They might win a baseball game, but there will be runs. And also, when's the last time you've called Miles Michaelis a shutdown pitcher? 8.5 are still in the marketplace right now as we sit early in the morning. I'm taking the over for Colorado and St. Louis. I don't love St. Louis's bats, but I hate the bullpen for Colorado, and Molina is on the mound. Stop the madness. We got to have at least a 5-4 game in this one to get me over that 8.5, Joe. How do you feel about that? Are we sweeping the card tonight? Is that what the vibes are?
That's a lot of plus money on the card here tonight for us, which means we'll start the week off on a profitable foot here, Donnie.
Absolutely. Just take a look at the Major League Baseball card tonight, just scanning the surface like, oh, where are those New York Metropolitans at? Well, hey, they can't lose tonight because apparently they're not playing on the card. But that's how we get down on a Monday morning edition here of The Early Line. The best news, as I like to say, we'll be back bright and early tomorrow. For Donnie Rightside and Joe Ranieri, thanks for tuning in to the Sports Grid Network. Stay tuned for more action right here on the Grid.